The best way to learn if somebody's lying to you is learning their benchmarks. Let me explain to you what that means. Meeting somebody one time, it's very hard to know things about them. One-time transactions, you can't really gauge who they are as a person. But how many people in your life do you meet once? Few. Most of the people you meet often. So a lie detector machine, have you ever been lie detector machined?
Never.
So the way they work is they have to ask you questions beforehand to set your benchmarks. They have to check and they see, tell me an honest answer. Is your name Stephen Bartlett? Yes. They look at your indicators to see what honesty looks like. And then they look to see, tell me a lie. And now they try to compare the two to each other. So what I do when I watch people and observe is I try to see what do they look like when they're telling me the truth. And these are fun things you could try at home. See when somebody tells you a story, how many details do they insert? What's their cadence, right? How do they speak? You can tell when people are lying more often than not if you observe them often. You can see it. Do they add more details? So you can try to find fun ways that seem to be white lies to see what do they do when they lie versus what do they do when they tell the truth? And then start to trust your instincts more. I think a lot of things that I do, I've unlearned bad habits. I think that when we were growing up, most of us had much better BS detection systems. When you're 2, 3, 4, you know if your sibling's lying to you. You know if people are lying to you very well. You're kind of very young and there's an instinct involved that I think is akin to when I play ping pong. I can't think about my shot. I just do the shot. I don't know how I did it. My body just goes into motion. So when I'm performing, the way people always ask me, are you doing this in every moment of your life? No, it's tiring. I'm focused, hyper-focused on what you're doing and the things that I'm watching that will give away certain elements. And I'm influencing you, there's misdirection, and I'm guiding you in a certain position, in a certain way to what I want you to select.
Say I was trying to sell you something.
Sure.
We're doing a presentation. I'm a marketing agency owner, and I would like you to buy this marketing campaign from me instead of this one or no campaign.
Sure.
So what are some things you could tell me that I should be thinking about or doing if I'm selling to you to make you buy what I would like you to buy?
Number one rule, I call this channeling your inner mentalist. It's not about you, it's always about them. That's been the number one secret to my success. I've been on all different networks doing what I do. On CNBC, I've been on there dozens of times. That's the financial network. How many other magicians or mentalists have ever been on that network? 0. It doesn't make sense. That's a serious network. They do finance. Why are they bringing me on? Because I tailor my presentations to the viewer. I don't think about myself. A card trick is about me. Me doing something related to stocks and bonds and dividends and interest rates. That is fascinating to the person watching. The same way if I go into a room with football players, I make everything structured on football. So I challenge you that when you make a presentation like that, are you just thinking about you? Or where can you highlight the attributes of what is this person missing? What's wrong with what their status quo is? What are you missing? Listen to your consumer, listen to your client, listen to your audience. They will tell you. They will give you the answers to what you need to give back to them. So many people, when they approach someone else, they approach with the following. How great am I? How great is my product? Bum, bum, bum. It's all about me, me, me. This needs to be benefits-oriented language. All of it should be you. I want to make your life easier. I want to make this migration to our platform seamless. What's currently bothering you? I want to know all the things that are your moments of resistance. What's resisting you from saying yes? And every time you tell me one, I want to be prepared to check that off. That's so funny you mentioned that. I know you want no downtime. Here's how we can ensure no downtime, right? You want to anticipate what they're going to say the same way a mentalist does. But in this case, you're not guessing cards or numbers or names. You're guessing the thoughts of what's keeping them from buying your product.
And is that a practice per se? If this was, if I was pitching to you and you're the CEO of Uber,
yep,
and I want you to work with my agency, before I go into that meeting, you talked about preparation earlier on. Do you write down or just think about the rebuttals or the person that you're contending with, and then try and tailor the presentation to a set of sort of ideological ego factors that you believe that person's coming into the room with?
Right. So I write down everything. Literally, one chapter in that book is all about how taking notes has changed my life. So at every show, And through every interaction that I ever have with somebody, I write down. I had a show last night, a show the night before. I will write down, I have a shorthand to make it quicker, but I will write down everything that I did, everybody that I met, things that I remember about them, and I will do this immediately when I finish the show. If I might have a meet and greet and photos, the moment it's done, you'll sometimes see me in an Uber in my hotel, and I'm writing furiously everything while it's still in my mind and fresh, because information is power. And the number one thing that people care about is themselves, their family, their friends, their career, right? All of us are the star of our own movie. You're the star of your movie. I'm the star of my movie. Right here, the person manning the camera is the star. Everybody else is supporting cast. So think of it this way. If you can remember things about that person, not creepy. What if they told you something? Last night I met somebody, she has 2 children. They're 3 and 5. Her oldest son absolutely loves this one YouTube star. They live, I know where they live. Like, she just shared a lot of details with me that in her mind are kind of like Snapchats. They vanished. They didn't vanish to me. So now that I've written those down, I might see her in a month, in a year, in a decade. Do you know how great that feeling is to somebody when you remember things they told you? It's like winning the lottery. It's literally like you get to do a magic trick like I do, but people give you credit. I will remember at shows, who hired me for this show? Oh, they know this person. Now we have a chain. We have a referral link. I might see them again. I guessed their ATM PIN code 3 years ago. It was 6124. I now know that. I bump into them there, and I don't have a supernatural memory. Another part of the book is how to improve your memory, which I think is also a huge secret to success in life that people don't realize. We have phones now. We think our phone does it for us. That's not true. And I say to him, I go, John, I sure hope you changed that PIN code from 6124. He is blown away. Steven, do you understand? That's not a trick. I wrote it down. I'll tell you exactly how I did it. All I did was take the time to review it before I got there and made him feel special. And do you know what he's going to do? He's going to talk about that moment for years to come. I've created a memory. If you can create memorable moments for others, they will remember you and they will spread the word to others. And that's how whatever you do in life, what you do for others is what's going to eventually propel you to success. I would say give gratuitously, but the more gratuitous you give, there's this funny way in the world where the universe bounces back. And the more I do for others, they want to do the same for me.
If you were to make that really practical for me, so you have a shorthand book which you write in every time you meet someone to keep details.
You could do it in your phone.
Yeah.
I do it in my phone. So I have calendar entries. Let's be very clear. Let's give you brass tacks. I will write in, if you look at my phone right now, the event last night, set list. I wrote down the name of the host, his wife. They have 3 children. They have twins. Like, everything about this is very fresh in my mind, and I'll remember it for a day, but then it will kind of it will dissipate. Which tricks did I do? What happened in the tricks? What were funny moments that were off the cuff? Who did I meet earlier that day? I met somebody. And again, I'm writing all this stuff down because that information is power. That information, the longer you hold it, it's a coupon with no expiration date. And when you serve it up to that person, in fact, it's the reverse. The longer you hold on to it, the more impressive it is. If I met you yesterday and you told me your favorite color is magenta, and I say it to you tomorrow, not that exciting. But in 2 years, if when I meet you and we see a car, I go, Steven, that's your favorite color, magenta, isn't it? Not as a trick, just there in your mind, dopamine. How did you remember that? You're touched that I remember that about you, right? That's what people care about. People, think about it again, their family, their friends, their faith, their business, all of that. The more that you can make someone else shine, the better it happens to you. Everything is about my whole act is geared towards making other people look good.
I was thinking about this quite a lot, and I actually posted on my LinkedIn this morning about the paradox of small things. And what I said in the post, it's reflecting on Jimmy Fallon. I was on his show this week, and he mentioned that we have this tradition at the end of the podcast with the guests. It's a small thing that we do at the end of the show. And the fact that he remembered it and told his audience about it, and he said it brought him to tears, made me realize that actually the small things in life that we often overlook, like remembering someone's name or, as you said, their family or some sort of intricate personal detail, they're so powerful because most people don't think they matter.
That's it.
And so when one person in your life remembers a tiny detail about you that kind of matters to you, even your name is something that matters to you, it's so shockingly rare that it's so shockingly powerful because most people think it's so unbelievably petty. And this is, I think, the paradox of small things, that they're actually, in fact, really big things.
Well, think about how many small things, if you were to look at your life and just have these little roads, these like fork in the road where one path led to this. And I have those moments where in my life where somebody said one thing to me, sometimes offhanded. They don't even remember it. And it changed the course of my life. And there's like little moments. I had one, so I worked on Wall Street. I didn't think that you could be a magician or mentalist. It's crazy that it never even occurred to me as an option. But at one point, there's two moments, but one of the big ones is I'm doing something for the CFO of my company, Merrill Lynch. He does not know that I work for the company. And I used to do this magic trick with sleight of hand where I take 5 $1 bills, I hold them, I snap, they turn to hundreds. Amazing. It's a great trick. And at that moment, he's an Australian guy, and he goes, "We need you working here, mate." And everyone laughs. And it's a joke I've heard 100 times, 1,000 times. And I go, "It's funny, sir, I do work here." And he thought it was a joke. I broke character a little. I go, no, seriously, I work at 95 Green at your Global Technology Services Department. And he looked at me and goes, "What are you doing working here?" And that moment to him, I assume, was nothing. It was forgotten moments later. But that moment changed the course of my life because there was like a switch in my mind that goes, what am I doing working here? Where you kind of like can visualize your future. Is this my path? Is this what I'm going to do forever? Or am I going to decide that you live one life and I'm going to go for it? And I think for a lot of people who are listening to this, I'm not saying to quit your job, but you ask yourself, look in the mirror, is this what I want to be doing? And I think for a lot of people, they might want more, whether that's their own business, whether it's to climb the rung of a ladder. And it's that moment that somebody can change your life and take action and decide, I'm going to do it, but also formulate a plan, be effective and smart in your execution.
And in your case, leaving Merrill Lynch to go and become a mentalist is quite a leap. I remember
huge leap. Everyone thought it was crazy.
Same with Dan Brown.
No one said to me, "Oh, this is a great idea." Even though I've got to tell you the truth, most people were very happy for me. But behind closed doors, I think they thought, this kid's, he's nuts.
You kind of were nuts because statistically, probabilistically, the chance of you becoming a quote unquote successful mentalist
absolutely
is extremely low.
Extremely low.
But I mean, like there's probably like a handful of mentalists that earn a lot of money.
I would say it's a very low number, but here's the question you should ask yourself. Why not you? That like the framing of that is always, of course there's statistics, but why not me? And so I think the way you think in your mind, the voice in your head that tells you that loop determines things. So it's all about setting yourself up for success rather than failure.
How much of being a mentalist is understanding human behavior versus
everything? I don't even know how to answer that. It's literally, that's I'm a student of the human, like how people behave.
But the practice of it, because Darren Brown is, I consider him a friend. And if I've learned anything from him, and I do think he's the most incredible person on and off camera, it's that much of his work is making you think the trick is happening here.
100%.
But actually, the trick is happening over here. And he's misdirecting you to focus on my left hand, and the trick is taking place in my right hand.
That couldn't be more true. That's exactly it. But that is knowing human behavior.
Explain to me why.
I don't want to say controlling because it sounds very devious, but I'm controlling your attention and your thoughts. I'm guiding you in a certain way to either select what I'd like or to give away something that you feel you have not given away. Should we do a fun example?
Sure.
Do you know off the top of your head how many episodes you've had of this show?
I think it's roughly 500.
I believe so. Close your eyes. I want to make this a visual game. You're in this room of all different people that you've looked at, you've seen, that you respect, okay? Some of them could have been guests on the show, and then you get a tap on the shoulder. You turn around, you look at this person, and it's somebody you've met before, 100%. And they say something to you. They've said it to you before, and you get deja vu, and it's something impactful. It left an impression on you. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah.
And that inherently, right there, boom, that makes you think of another person. I don't think they mentioned this other person, but something about that takeaway or that thought or that moment of clarity or wisdom made you think of someone else in your life. It was connected to them.
Yeah.
This next person number 2, I'm calling them. They jumped over, open your eyes. When was the last time you had spoken to that person?
The person number 2?
Yeah.
Today.
Okay, let's lean into this. Think of their first name. Count the letters to yourself. Don't say it.
Yeah.
And somebody you know well, you've spoken to them today. I watched your eyes. You went up, 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 up. 5 letters, isn't it?
Yeah.
You asked me how I do it. You said, do I study people? You just gave it away yourself. There's 5 letters to choose from. There's 26 in the alphabet. Pick any letter in this person's first name, mix them up a little.
Yeah.
And then you grab one out and you just decide this is the letter I want to focus on.
Yeah.
Now, knowing you as an entrepreneur, knowing you, the way you give interviews, I think I know what you would want to do. Knowing that you know Darren Brown, you know how some of this works. So your instinct was to go against your instinct because you go, I know this would be obvious. You didn't think of the first letter, did you?
No.
You didn't want to. You thought that would give it away.
Yeah.
Because once I know that, it's easier to figure out the rest. And then I know there's vowels in the name. And so inherently you said, that limits my subset. You didn't do a vowel, did you?
No.
L. Are you thinking of an L?
No.
I got it. It's funny because by you saying no, it means you gave away both. I've written this down. Can you close your eyes? For the viewers who are watching this as a video, I'm going to show them. And for everybody else to know who's just listening in their headphones while running or doing something, this can't change what I wrote down. Open it up. Open it up. You thought of an S, but switched from the L. Is that correct? Tell us all, what is their first name?
Jules.
Jules.
You know, you walk into rooms and people hear that you're a mentalist, so they're already like somewhat on edge.
Yeah.
And you can see that they're on edge, right?
Yeah, you got to sweeten it because...
So what do you do about that? Because everywhere you go, people are going to be like, fuck, this guy might be able to guess my... You know, that's what they're thinking. They're thinking he can guess my bank pin, so I'm going to give nothing away. So you must be meeting people that are like closed off your entire life. How do you get them to go from closed to open up?
I think it's being likable. So think about it. If you met somebody who could really read your mind, and I can't read minds, I want to be clear throughout the process because people say, oh, what's he trying to teach? I can't read minds. I'm not psychic. I am not supernatural. I don't claim to be. You could do this, maybe not as well because I think there's an inherent talent, just same as musical talent. I can't play a guitar. I can't sing to save my life. No matter how much training you give me, I will never have the voice of Harry Styles or Ed Sheeran. It's not in the cards for me.
But you're tricking me to think that my eye movements played a role.
So I will tell you this. I am tricking you to believe that certain things are more important than others. Your eye movements and body language play a role, but whether it played a 10% role, a 50% role, a 100% role, that's 100% true. My job is to misdirect you and to use multiple methods.
Yeah.
So that as soon as you go down a path and you think you got me, I jump to the next lane, I do it a different way.
There's also a possibility that 0% of that trick you just did was about my eyes.
I didn't say it was about your eyes though, did I?
You said you looked up the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That is absolutely true. Try for yourself though. Honestly, try for yourself. How many letters somebody counts? If they have a long name, it takes longer to process. You aren't going to be able to use a name and counting the number of letters in your day-to-day life. Mm-hmm. So if I were to show you how to do it, you were to attempt it and you were to get it right 75% of the time, which you'd be shocked that you would, you'd then go, now what? Who cares? Most of you are not going to take and spend the next decades learning mentalism. Rather, I'm going to try and take the most important parts of mentalism and show you how you can use them. Mm-hmm. Another huge one is just confidence. How do people build confidence? When I was 14 and I started doing this, was I this hyper-confident teenager? No. My folks just got divorced. My life was pretty tumultuous. I think I did this as a way to not have to deal with all of the trauma and kind of sadness. And confidence gets built over time. So what's a better way to fast track that? For a lot of people, you walk into a room, you have to give a presentation. Are you nervous as hell? I think most people would say yes. Would you agree to that? Mm-hmm. What can you do tomorrow to get in there and feel like you own the room? The same way I go on TV for 1 million people, or right now for millions. I think there's so much of it has to do with there's a panic that we have in us where we take and we fear a certain feeling, which is I have certain things that I dread doing. Like let's say I have to call someone and give a call of things I don't want to say. I have to turn someone down for something. Mm-hmm. I hate that. I'm avoiding it at all lengths. The same way you procrastinate things you don't want to do. I have this little trick in my mind where what I do is I ask myself, what will I feel like tomorrow about this? What will I feel like tomorrow? What if I could fast forward my feelings to tomorrow? And instead of just, up in the air, try it. Right now, what's something that you, the listener, don't want to do? You don't want to call someone. You don't want to deliver bad news. You know this person's about to ream you out. You're avoiding it at all costs. You're moving it in your calendar to tomorrow, the next day. You keep doing that. Do it now. And I want you to set an alarm 24 hours from now. Put it in your thing. I'm for real. Put an alarm that says tomorrow. Write down how you feel about this. Scale of 1 to 10. Right when you finish the call, you're going to feel in the dread before it, you're going to feel an 8, 9, 10 of dread. The next day, when the alarm goes off, ask yourself, how do I feel? Most of the time, you feel nothing. 2 or 3. It's out of sight, out of mind. So what if you could trick your brain the same way I tricked you to think your eye movements have anything to do with it? Trick your own brain to see how you feel a day from now. You feel nothing. So what if you can just start doing that to yourself? Rewire your brain, say, I'm gonna feel nothing in a day. Screw it, I'm gonna do it now. And just that trick of getting over procrastination builds a tremendous amount of confidence.
If you love the Diary of a CEO brand and you watch this channel, please do me a huge favor. Become part of the 15% of the viewers on this channel that have hit the subscribe button. It helps us tremendously, and the bigger the channel gets, the bigger the guests.